Representative Bottoms.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I want to thank you ahead of time for lots of leeway. This bill really is about a crisis. We're having a major crisis. We were having the crisis in our country, but our country is starting to swing back the other direction, the proper direction, the right direction when it comes to these subjects. But the state of Colorado, we're still having a crisis of truth. We don't like truth in this state and definitely in this room. Truth is not subjective, though. That's the interesting thing about truth. I hear these statements all the time, my truth, your truth. Truth is absolute. There is something called truth, and there is everything else. Once you put a qualifier on truth, in other words, my truth, your truth, the word truth has to be taken out of the sentence because it's no longer applicable. Because it's not your truth. There is truth, absolute truth. And interestingly, truth does not originate with humans. Truth comes from God. Lies come from Satan. In fact, that's actually a quote from the Bible. Satan is the father of all lies. And so as human beings, we don't actually create truth or create lies. We propagate one or the other. We get our truth from God or our lies from Satan. But they don't come from humans. Humans don't actually have the ability to create any more than Satan has the ability to create. Satan doesn't create, God creates. The best I can do is co-create. So what I try to do is I try to co-create with God rather than Satan by speaking truth. Lies are co-creating with Satan. The truth is, boys are boys and girls are girls. And no matter how many times you say that differently, change that, put it into bills, put it into books, say whatever you want, do whatever you want. There is XX, there is XY, boys are boys, and girls are girls. But what we do is we change the narrative, and we say that it's based upon things like science and stuff like that. But science says XXXY. Science doesn't say boys can be girls and girls can be boys. Humans say that. That's not truth. That's human. That's the opposite. Surgeries can't change this. When somebody digs up a dead body 10 years later, it's going to be male or female according to science, not according to what that person decided. You keep doing things that it's going to blow up in this state. When you start taking kids from their parents, they're not going to allow that to continue. People are hurting, they're struggling with identity issues, and we continue to enable and hurt them more. Instead of dealing with truth, instead of trying to help these people, we enable them and we corral them into a forced mentality. And here's how I know it's true. We just dealt with this on the last bill. I've dealt with it in 2 different committee meetings. This is the reality. If we really cared about people, we would care about detransitioning as much as transitioning. But we don't, because truth is not relevant in this arena. It's my narrative, my ideology. Suicide rates increase. We know this. When somebody has had transition surgery, suicide rates increase. The farther we take them into gender transition, the more suicide rates increased. Well, we don't care about facts. We don't care about truth. We're just going to keep saying our narrative. Well, it is not true. There is actually something called truth. Former chief of psychology at Johns Hopkins University and distinguished service professor at Johns Hopkins University, Dr. Paul McHugh, said that transgender left-wing activists are enabling a mental illness and collaborating with madness, not equality. This is an agenda. This is ideology. LGB is a sexual preference. TQ plus is an ideology. And that ideology is rooted in Marxism. It's rooted in control. Most people would say in society, okay, if that's what you want to do, that's fine, but don't force it on me. We've changed that in Colorado. We're going to force it on you. We're going to force it on parents. We're going to force it on children. We're going to force my false narrative, my mental health problem on you. You're going to fix it by surgically destroying somebody's life, We're going to fix it like that. That's helping somebody. That's false narrative. That's not truth. This is an attack against truth. When is enough enough? When is enough enough? Well, I'm telling you, the state of Colorado, they've already started saying enough is enough. And we're going to see that in the next couple years. Enough is enough. And they're going to start, they're already doing this, but they're going to stand up and say, we're going to take our state back. You cannot keep saying this. You cannot keep pushing these narratives. You cannot keep using these lies. We're going to reclaim Colorado.